Y'all ready?
Ready?
Yeah, we're on y'all.
Yes.
Hey, you guys, welcome to. Hey, you guys, welcome to the Taking My Body Back Health and Wellness Talk Show. It's your girl, M Love.
RJ to the right.
All right, you guys, and we thank you guys again for tuning in each and every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock on World Star Hit Radio. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you guys following us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all the other social medias out there. But tonight, we kind of wanted. Tonight we kind of wanted to switch gears from gut health, because that's what we were talking about the past 2 weeks. So we just kind of want to take a quick little break, but we will be coming back to gut health because that's something that is very important. But tonight we want to switch gears and we want to talk about postpartum depression. And we have a very special guest tonight, Dr. Stacy Braswell. She's going to be educating us on signs and symptoms and treatments for postpartum depression. It may not be yourself, however, it may be someone that's very close to you. And postpartum depression is something that is overlooked, and it is a mental illness. And so tonight, I want to first of all thank my doctor, Dr. Stacy Braswell, for being here.
Dr. Braswell.
For being here on such short notice. And you guys, if you know someone that just had a baby or is pregnant, or you know someone that you love that something just maybe something is a little off and you can't quite put your finger on it.
For the man that wants you paying child support too?
Yeah. You see why Stacy, it's all coming together.
Let me get some water.
But we're going to be talking about postpartum depression. Share this on your page so that your friends and family can tune in. We have some very important information that we're going to be sharing tonight. And first of all, I need to apologize to my doctor for spelling her name incorrectly on social media. However, I did correct it. So she forgives me because she loves me.
Yes.
So, hey Lizzie, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. Hey Radcliffe, that's my cousin. All right. So here we go. Dr. Stacy Braswell, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Postpartum depression is something that, is a mental illness. And it's overlooked, across the board. All ethnic groups, backgrounds, everything like that.
Would you say it's overlooked, or is it just not really publicized like everything else?
Yeah.
Because what people think is it only deals with just the females.
That's something that I was telling you that I want to talk about as well. I think it goes beyond that, and now we want to get your professional opinion on that as well. Does it extend to men as well? There was something, I sent it to you as well, that video that I sent you where the young lady who recently just killed her 2 sons. One was 1 year old and one was 2 years old. That was what kind of triggered me to want to do this show. Then right before that, I don't know if you saw, there was another situation where a dad actually just killed his 15-day-old baby. That was another reason as well. So with that, let's jump right into it. You ready?
Yeah.
You ready, RJ?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness.
I got to put on my PC hat first.
Yeah, put on your PC hat. Come on. All right.
But you going to get it.
All right, okay. I'm bracing myself.
Okay, so Dr. Braswell, just kind of tell us a little bit about first of all, what exactly is postpartum depression?
Okay. So first I want to start with something called postpartum blues.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
The baby blues.
Exactly,
the
because
baby blues,
we
yes.
all know when let's say you're a first-time mom or you have multiple kids, and let's say the lady who came home and she was 24, and this was her 3rd baby.
Mm-hmm.
That first 2 weeks of transition from bringing your baby home, we call that postpartum blues.
Okay.
And that's when you're just showing some of the symptoms of depression. So you might not be able to get any sleep because the baby's crying all the time. And you may think, oh my goodness, I just can't do this. You may have lack of energy. You might not be eating as normal, but as you normally do, but it only lasts for about 2 weeks.
Okay. The baby blues.
The baby blues.
Okay.
Okay. And that's important because you have your family members that are watching you. You have your spouses, your significant others that are watching you and seeing what you're doing. And if it's extended beyond 2 weeks, then we're starting to get concerned. Okay. Because when you send a baby home with mom, you want to know then she's able to take care of that baby, right?
Okay.
So at some point you need to kick into gear, and the coping mechanisms that you have, you can deal with taking care of your baby. So the depression, postpartum depression, the important thing about it is it only can last for about 4 weeks, okay? So if you went a whole year and you're still feeling depressed, that's major depression, okay?
So it goes from being postpartum to just major depression altogether.
Exactly.
So that's just, so it's not dealing with the baby or the pregnancy or the after the baby. It's dealing with you as a person in general.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because the coping mechanisms that we have to deal with life. So let's say, for instance, the baby is keeping you up at night, and you're crying and things like that. At some point, you have to kick into gear. So if you don't kick into gear and you continue to not find any pleasure in the things that used to give you pleasure, whatever you like to do, listen to music, dance, maybe not with a new baby going to the club, but things that you like to do, then that can be, and it extends beyond 4 weeks, then we're starting to get concerned.
Okay.
But let me ask you this: wouldn't certain things like that change for you being a parent in general? Like, not dancing as much as you sort of said, that you said, not going out as much. That changes you as a that comes with you being a parent, though, doesn't it?
Is it RJ?
RJ.
Okay.
We just call me that dude.
Little dude from CP.
Little dude from CP. Yeah.
Tell me 2 things that you do every week, and if you don't do it, something's wrong. Somebody knows something's
You
wrong.
asking the wrong person. I don't do nothing on repeat.
You smoke cigars on repeat.
Do you want to tell me that now?
Oh. Scratch that,
Yeah, I smoke cigars on repeat, but that's something I developed after having children. That's something I did to get, that's something I did to get away from my kids.
Okay. Why should it be your turn? No, but I mean
that helped me deal with children.
Okay.
So let me see. I gave up basketball for my children. It wasn't like me. I never had anything. Went out, did anything. For me, I guess it put me in the right position of being I would say just a better man all around, because now I get to see my full potential and actually pass on what I have as a man.
Okay.
So for me, I don't think anything changed. Well, something did change. Just it changed for the better, not for the worse.
See, and what you just did is you turned my question around, and you defined how coping with stress and coping with parenthood changes you. Okay, so if you're able to do those things and kick into gear and say, you know what, I can't smoke that cigar in front of the kids. I can't play basketball all the time, I have to be there for my child. I have to be available. Then those are the things that are going to make you cope and not have the depression. Okay. If you had, let's say for instance, I'm going to use a cigar. So when you smoke a cigar, how does that make you feel?
Good.
Okay. So someone that's experiencing depression, they may, something that they like to do, say smoke cigars, which is a bad example in this case, no longer gives them pleasure. You know what I'm saying?
I'll break down smoke cigars later, but I'm sure it's not. So,
you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, let's say, what's something you like to do?
That's what we need to talk about. Well,
she's speaking to Marquita, right?
Marquita, which is in the studio here with us.
I love to go. I love to dress up, makeup.
That's a good example.
Like, I love that, and I haven't been doing that lately. So.
That's a good example. So, if when you bring home your new baby, you might not be able to do that within the first month or something like that, but that's something you want to get back towards doing. You want to build your support system. You want to build your system around what you normally do, because you are not only a mother now, you're still Marquita, okay? So those are some of the things.
So having a support system is key?
Having a support system is key.
Let me ask you about that from a man's standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we talked about this earlier. On a man's side, coming from a man's side, and when a woman is dealing with the postpartum depression or the blues, how, like, women do not pay attention to anything we say, period. Whether you're dealing with something or not dealing with something. So how do me as a man, as a significant other, how do I, you know, how do I play my part with dealing with that?
You're going to have the patience of Job, honestly, because you are facing things that you cannot see. Meaning that there are hormones going on within that woman that you have no control over, and she has really no control over. So you're going to have to take your patience to the end of your listening skills, your baby, what do you need today? Baby, you didn't even tell me what you need today, but I'm going to go do it in any way. You see what I'm saying?
So we just keep playing our part as if she's pregnant.
Okay, that's good. And I've run into people who the man disappears. Okay, you need bottles, you need Pampers changed, you need Pampers to be there and available, you need the trash to be taken out. Okay, after you change those diapers. So being there is really, really important. And
So just us being there.
just being
It's
there
key.
oftentimes, yes. And then you have to be able to listen to her, because she may be going beyond, she may be, screaming for help in ways that you haven't identified. Let's say, for instance, how after you had, let's say your last baby, after you had your last baby, how long did you wait before you went to the grocery store or shopping or something like that?
Well, I always gave myself the 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah,
okay.
before I actually stepped cross outside.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's old school. Okay?
Well,
that's good.
I learned the hard way with my oldest daughter when I had to get the shot in my butt because I was having what they call the thing, where you like in labor again.
Oh, it's tocolytic, so.
Well, yeah, that.
What is that?
Something to stop her contractions.
Well, no, it felt so. What it was is after I had Empress, it was like I went back to the club. Empress had to be about maybe 2 weeks, and I'm probably not even that old. And I went to the club, and air got in me. And so I had to go to the doctor because it felt like I was in labor all over again. No, it was like labor pains. And they gave me a shot in the butt to stop like the feeling.
Okay.
So ever since then, my last 3, I would stay in the house to 6 weeks.
Okay. So if you see someone, it's 6 weeks and they're still not going out. Okay, you knock on their door, they're not answering the door. They're sitting in a dark room. Something may be going on. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
That's if they want to sit in the dark room beforehand, right?
I mean, you want to listen to, because they're not necessarily going to tell you. You want to listen to, okay, the signs. What did they normally do that now has changed? Okay, because I guarantee you that a young lady who put her children in the oven, this didn't happen overnight. Okay, and I always ask people, especially my younger girls, I ask them, I say, where's your mama? Okay, because if you, and I always assume the mother's the support system, it may not be, but it takes a village, so you have to, if they're not reaching out to you, you have to reach out to them.
Okay, so you just brought up something that just gave me a question. Gave me a question. Is that hereditary? Can you pass that down?
Depression?
Postpartum.
Depression.
A risk factor for postpartum depression is depression. So definitely, mental illness, so depression, anxiety, bipolar, all that can run in the family. So yes.
Okay.
Wow. So, what if that mother does not have anybody there? The dad is gone. The mom is nowhere to be found, and she's alone. Then what?
That's an excellent question. In those instances, then she's going to have. The thing is, oftentimes she's not going to go out to look for other people.
Okay.
Okay. So what resources do we have in the community?
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, that's, do you which is actually something else I just thought of. What's your title?
I'm OBGYN.
Okay. Do you guys ever set up like support systems within your office?
We do not, but most hospitals do. Okay, so most hospitals, like if you go out on North Side or Grady Hospital or Atlanta Medical Center, if you go out to their different support groups, oftentimes they'll have support groups that you can go to. Support groups for everything from breastfeeding to learning how to take care of your baby. So those are usually available.
Okay.
So you said when he asked the question about as the man, how would he know if his wife or whoever that just had the baby is having these different issues? Okay, there's no man in the house, but I'm your best friend. And I may not see you every day or all day or whatever because I'm not in the home with you. What signs am I looking for my friends so that I can say, okay, you know what? Some seem a little off. What are some of the signs that a friend or a relative would recognize that's outside of the home?
Okay, someone that's outside of the home. So, you know, you're calling, they're not answering. Or you're calling and they're acting different from what they would normally act. Okay. If you notice signs that they're not, so we know what's normal in terms of taking care of a baby. Some mothers will get up every time a baby cries and pick the baby up. Now, if you didn't have maybe 2 or 3, you know that the baby's gonna live. So
be all right.
if you notice a change in the behavior of that mother in terms of taking care of one child versus the other child, if they don't seem interested in one child, I know when I was growing up, my sister hid me in the closet. So, you know, is the mother doing things that you would normally think, okay, that's not normal for someone who just brought a new baby home. Okay, go ahead.
But then at the same time, we'll think, oh, that could never happen to me. That could never happen to Stacy. No, because I know her. I've been knowing her 20 years. She could never go through depression.
Definitely, anyone can. It has no respect of person, no respect of race, profession, anything. It can happen to anyone. It can definitely happen to anyone. And I think that's one of the most important things to recognize. Just because, RJ.
You gonna get my name.
RJ over here is riding in that, you know, fine BMW and has, you know, had all this success in life. It doesn't matter. Okay, so it can happen to anyone.
So with me being an outside friend, then, and I noticed that these different symptoms and different things like that my friend is going through, what should I now do? What action should I take?
So this is once the postpartum depression has been identified, or just during the transition period?
Or just transition period, and not really identifying that it's actually classified as postpartum depression. But I noticed that something is a little strange. They're not really connecting with the baby like they should, or how I may think that they should. What steps should I, as the friend, take?
Now, so I think in that regard, there's 3 things you can do. One is you can try to talk with them. Now, if you're someone like me, you may be a good talker. Okay, you might be good at counseling and things like that. But if you're not that person, you might want to bring in an outside non-biased person. So, you know, another friend to come in and talk with them. You can sit down with them and their significant other. You can also say, look, hey, you know, this is really outside of my control. Something doesn't look normal. Why don't you make an appointment with your doctor? So oftentimes when I feel that someone is not coping or may have trouble coping due to things I've seen during their visits, I'll have them come in before that 6 weeks checkup. Okay, so the doctor is always available. And then in terms of, it's really hard, especially in our peer group and our, you know, people, they don't trust mental health professionals oftentimes, you know, want to find someone to talk to. So that, you know, oftentimes through your job, the employee assistance program will have a therapist you can go talk to. So that's definitely an alternative. Some people, you know, although I think that professional help is great, sometimes a church. Okay, so whether or not it be, usually, you know, okay, of course it wouldn't be the pastor or anything like that, but if they have support groups within a church, finding someone there you can talk to and reaching out to them. But I think just for most people that's probably listening in, the best thing that you can do is just be in their face and be available for them. Okay, you know, if they're not answering the door, then hey, you might have to call the police to come open the door, you know, or you might have to do something outside of the norm to get through to them, to help them, because I guarantee you, like I said, with the circumstances with that young lady and the one I talked to you about, there were signs somewhere that someone ignored.
Okay. What we're going to do right now is just take a break and get back to it. So, we're going to start back where we can come back. We'll just pick up where we came back from. So, give us a little break, yo, guys. We'll be back. Thank you for watching. Continue watching. We'll be back in a minute.
We'll be right back.
I got to teach you.